What's up, everybody? This is the D to the L to the N, the deal in sports, and it's the cash line, y'all. Just wanted to hop on here with y'all real quick early this morning and chop this slate up. We got a all day slate, basically a bunch of small slates. You got at noon we got Atlanta at Chicago. This WNBA. It's projected for 165 points. Chicago's favored by 2.5, so it should be a close, competitive game. At 8 o'clock, you got Dallas at Minnesota tonight, projected for 166. Minnesota's favored by 13.5. They're probably going to blow their doors off. But remember what I told you about this WNBA. The stars play in these blowouts. You know, their season is short. They don't play long seasons, so they still play their minutes. You know what I mean? A blowout can't change things, but they still play their minutes. And the Captain Night off, you got Seattle at Phoenix at 100, projected for 161. Phoenix is favored by 5. That's Taurasi, Griner, Brianna Stewart, all the studs is going to be out. Then at 8:30, of course, you got Cleveland at Boston. Cleveland's favored by 1. It's basically a pick 'em, and that's going to be a crazy game. You see what happened with Houston and Golden State last night. I couldn't believe Houston got them like they did. So that was a big win for Houston. Nick Young, I'm never playing him again for no reason. I don't care what's going on. I'm never going to play him again at all. So, but like I said, I just wanted to jump on here and chop this slate up with y'all. So we're gonna jump right into this thing and start with that noon game with the WNBA. It's a showdown, so it's just utility players. You ain't got to worry about the position as far as guard or forward and this and like. And like I told you, I like to in these WNBA games, man. I like to play a lot more of the bigs. They don't shoot as well as they do in the NBA as far as from long range, but them guards do get down. But if I got a choice, I'm taking one of them bigs. So we're gonna get it started, man. And start right at the top with Allie Quigley, point guard for Chicago. She's a 12-4. That's expensive, man. That's expensive. And she going to get her 30, 35 and stuff like that. But when I play that much in this WABN thing, now I'm going up for Griner, Brianna Stewart, and people like that, Sylvia Fowles, people like that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get up to Quigley. Now, one thing I noticed about this game, I took a look at it, and all the stars, Quigley, you got Stephanie Dolson, you got Vandersloot is out. So that gives Quigley them a bump, but she still ain't really been taking advantage of it. You got Angel McCoughtry, Jessica Breland, Brittany Skikes, Elizabeth Williams. Now, all these girls, I'm looking at their fantasy projections and what they did the last game. They all got like 25 to 30. Ain't none of them really blew. So there ain't nobody at the top that you just got to play. There ain't no LeBron at the top or no Durant at the top or nothing like that. So you can make you a nice balanced lineup on this one here. Okay, under Quigley, you got Stephanie Dolson, 11K. I might be able to get to her, but like I say, man, I could find somebody right around that 7, 8K that's going to get me just as many fantasy points. You know what I mean? You got Angel McCoughtry, 10-8. She's an explosive player, real explosive player. But like I say, man, I'm going down to this mid tier. Under her, you got Jessica Breland at 10-3, could be in play. Not really going there. You got Brittany Sykes at 10-1. Not probably going to go there. Elizabeth Williams, 9-1. This is where I start my path at. Elizabeth Williams plays down low for Atlanta. She's a monster. She can get down. As long as she ain't in a bad matchup, you don't want to play her up against Sylvia Fowles and people like that. But if she's in a good matchup, she can go. So Elizabeth Williams, circle and a check mark, y'all. Right under there, you got Tiffany Hayes at 8,200, circle and a check mark. Now she's probably one of them guards that can get just as many points as the guards at the top. Now she ain't been playing well, but I'm looking for her on a bounce back game. You got Diamond DeShields. This is where it all begins, y'all. Circle and a check mark. Please believe it. Diamond DeShields, she's probably one of my favorite player on the slate. 7,800, circle, and a double check mark for Diamond DeShields. Lock her in, y'all, especially on a one-game slate at that price. It'll allow you to pay up. You got Renee Montgomery, Lalisha Clarendon, who could be good plays. I messed with Clarendon a lot last year. You know what I mean? But she ain't she ain't caught her groove yet, but she is definitely in play. Under there, Gabby Williams. I'm waiting for her to explode. Circle and a check mark, y'all. 6,300. She gonna explode soon. She come out of UConn. I watched her play. She ain't really exploded yet, but she's gonna explode soon. Under there, you got Chelsea Hopkins, Cheyenne Parker, Alex Montgomery, and people like that. Now, one of the gap saver, your value play here is going to be Kalia Cooper down there, 2,800. You can get her, and that'll help you pay for the people that you really want up at the top. But like I say, ain't no guard forward separation. It's all utility players there. So we can come up out of there and go to that 2 game tonight. Now, like I said, the two game tonight is going to be Dallas at Minnesota, and that's going to be at 8 o'clock. Now, looking at that game, you know that's that Sylvia Fowles thing. That's that Sylvia Fowles thing. But we're gonna start with the guards for Dallas and Minnesota. You got Skylar Diggins Smith. Cash money, y'all. Now she's 12-2, but she one of the ones she's capable of 50 bombs. She's capable of a 50 bomb. Circle and a check mark, Skylar Diggins Smith. Christmas Kelly, she could be in play. Not really on her. Alicia Gray. Then you got Simone Augustus under there. You got Lindsay Whalen, that Wiley veteran. You know what I mean? Coming up, you got Kaylee Davis, Danielle Robertson, Elisa Jones. So for these guards, man, there ain't really too many I'm looking at besides Skylar Diggins Simmons. You can mess with you choose between Kelly and Gray. They basically do the same type thing. Gray shoots a little more than she does, and things like that. But on this guards thing, that's basically where I'm going. Now, this is where the meat is, y'all, in this game. This is where the meat is, y'all. In this Dallas Minnesota game, you got Sylvia Fowles, 12-5. Circle and a check mark, y'all. Just lock her in. Just lock her in. She had 37 points, fantasy points last game, and she had a bad game. You know what I'm saying? I watched the whole game. She didn't really get down. She got a lot of rebounds and stuff, but she didn't score a lot. So she getting 37 on a bad game. You can imagine what she's going to get if she go off. Circle and a check mark. Now, Gloria Johnson is out. You got Maya Moore, always in play. Circle and a check mark. Under that, you got Liz Cambridge, and this is where I start to eat at. Liz Cambridge at 8,800. I'm taking that all day. In about a week, she's going to be the same price as Sylvia Fowles and them. So you better take advantage of it while you can. Them young rookies, her, Asia Wilson, Diamond DeShields, those girls, man, you better get them while you can because they're getting ready to be 10 and 12K here within the next couple days. Under that, you got Rebecca Brunson, 7,100, circle and a check mark. She gets down there. You got Placence is out. Aerial Powers is questionable. Now, if both of those end up being out, that's going to open that whole thing up, man. That's going to open that whole thing up for Kayla Thornton at 5,600 and Zarua Stevens, the rookie that ain't really got down, but she ain't had the minutes yet. But if Placence is out and Powers is out and Gloria Johnson is out, you can lock them girls in, man. Kayla Thornton, circle and a check mark. Aruza Stevens, circle and a check mark. Now that counts on the fact that them other forwards is out. Now under that, you ain't really got nothing you want to mess with for that game there. Now, if we go into the next game, Seattle Phoenix, it's a lot of meat here. It's a lot of meat here. You better have a piece of this game. You better have a piece of this game. You got Jewel Lloyd for the guards at the top at 9,900. Not really on her because if I was going to do that, I'd just go to Taurasi for 800 less at 9,100. Taurasi's always in play. She get played a lot more than she should because of her name, and she's one of the most famous WNBA players there is. But she gets played a lot more than she should, but she's still definitely in play. Sue Bird, that Wiley veteran, just don't like her price up there, 7,700, but she gonna do what she do. You know what I mean? You got DeWanna Bonner right here, another one of them girls I was talking about, 7,300, circle and the double check mark. Please lock her in. She's been going. Her last two games was a 30 and a 50. 7,300, circle and a check mark, y'all. Just lock her in. Now, under there, you got Brianna January, definitely in play. Leanna Mitchell, Yvonne Turner, not really feeling them. Jordan Canada, one of them rookies that came in, but she ain't going to get too much run because of some of them guards that's up top, but she is definitely at pay at 3,700. That's a cheap price on her. Now, if we come out of there and we go to the forward position, this is where it is, y'all. This is where the real meat at. You got Brittany Griner at 13.5. She dropped a 50 bomb last game. So she worth it. But you got a lot of ones under here that you can get that might get the same fantasy points as her. But if Brittany Griner go off and you ain't got her, you ain't got to worry about looking at your phone. You know what I mean? You got Brianna Stewart, 13-1. Circle and a check mark, y'all. All these forwards in this game is monsters. Under there, you got Sylvia Fowles. You got Brianna Stewart under there. I'm sorry. You got Sancho Little at 6,500. That's where the price drops. It drops from 13K with Brianna Stewart all the way down to 6,500 with Sancho Little. You know what I mean? Sancho Little can be in play. You got Alicia Clark, Langhorne, Howard, Camille Little, Paris, and people like that. But if I was trying to do them forwards out of this game, man, you got to go up and get Griner or Stewart, or at least have one of them. At least have one of them in that second game if you want. If you're trying to take something down, and then you mix and match the rest of it from there on out. You know what I mean? So last game we're gonna talk about is gonna be the men, y'all. It's gonna be that NBA, that Cleveland, my boys. You know what I mean? Going to Boston. I'm worried about them. I know we can do it. You know what I mean? But I'm worried about them in Boston. But just like they said last night, Golden State was 16-0 in Boston before last night. You know what I mean, in the playoffs, and I mean, and Golden State was 16-0 in Golden State. Now we're in that same scenario type of thing where Boston's like 8 or 9-0 in Boston. You know, ain't lost in Boston in the playoffs yet. You know what I'm saying? So, but if anybody can do it, LeBron can. Now you either going two way, one to taking LeBron and then filling your roster out the best you can, or you not taking LeBron and you stacking Boston. Because if you ain't taking LeBron, that means you don't believe he's gonna go off, which means the Cavs is gonna get whooped on, which means Boston is gonna be the stack. You know what I mean? So there's two ways to go about it. You either get LeBron and that's gonna take you down, and you ain't gonna be able to get Horford or Love, and I mean you can, but that price is gonna take you down. That you're gonna be on some semi Olazes and some places that you don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? So you either gonna take LeBron at 19.5 and stack the best way you can and put Corver and Smith around him, Tristan Thompson, and then fill it in with a little bit of Boston things, or you fade LeBron and you say Boston gonna win again at home, and you can almost stack that whole thing up. If you ain't got LeBron, you could almost stack that whole thing up because Horford is 12, Jaylen Brown 11-8, Terry Rozier 10-8, Tatum 9-4. Smart 8-5, Marcus Morris 7-1. So you can find a way to stack that whole thing up if you don't take LeBron. You know what I'm saying? If you take LeBron, only Boston people you're gonna be able to get is like maybe Smart, Morris, and Baines, and people like that. So it's a decision you got to make. Me myself, as a Cavs fan in Boston, I'm gonna play one each way. I'm gonna play one with the LeBron factor, and I'm gonna play one if Boston blow us out like they did before in Boston. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically where it is with that. It's one game. It's simple. You ain't got to overthink it. You think about what you think is gonna happen in that game, and you play it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, just wanted to jump on here. Shout out to the YouTube world, the Twitter world, the CASHLINE world, and hope everybody get to that money. And good luck, y'all. CASHLINE. I'm out.